We all do it, every day in one way or another. We wait. We wait until the plan is perfect, until the timing is perfect, until we feel ready to move. Does that sound familiar? We delay the first step because we think we're not ready. We postpone decisions because we think we lack the knowledge, the skills, or the clarity. We polish our ideas, we tweak our projects, we rehearse our words, endlessly, and yet the moment slips by. Perfectionism, it feels safe, polished, noble even, a badge of discipline, a mark of high standards. But here's the secret no one tells you. Perfectionism is a trap, a silent thief. It steals your time, it drains your energy, it blocks your creativity, and it quietly robs you of your power. Every day that you wait, someone else moves. Someone imperfect, yes, but decisive. And they take what could have been yours. Think about your life. How many opportunities have you let slip because you weren't ready? How many ideas have you buried because they weren't perfect? How many decisions have you postponed because the timing wasn't ideal? Each one might have seemed small, harmless even, but over time, they accumulate. They shape your life, your work, your business, and leave you stuck in the shadow of those who dared to act, even imperfectly. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that fortune, opportunity, and influence favor the bold, not the perfect. Boldness comes from action, decisiveness, and the courage to move even when conditions are far from ideal. Waiting for perfection, on the other hand, waiting guarantees stagnation. It guarantees that someone else will seize the moment while you remain frozen in hesitation. I want to take you deep into this trap, to show you how perfectionism seeps into our daily choices, stifles our creativity, and holds back our business decisions, and how by applying lessons inspired by Machiavelli, you can break free, act boldly, and reclaim control over your time, your ideas, and your destiny. Let's begin. Imagine this. It's morning. You wake up with a long list of intentions, ideas buzzing in your head, plans waiting to be executed. There are tasks to start, emails to send, calls to make, decisions that will shape the course of your day, even small choices like what to eat or how to spend your free time. But then it hits you, the weight of doing it perfectly, and suddenly your mind starts whispering, what if I mess this up? What if it's not good enough? What if I make the wrong choice? Maybe I should wait until I have more clarity. And just like that, hesitation takes over. You overthink, you second guess, and the momentum you had in the morning starts slipping away. What seemed like a simple day of action becomes a silent trap of doubt and indecision. Machiavelli would call this fatal. He understood human nature. He knew that hesitation is weakness, and weakness is a doorway for others to take the lead. As he would put it, he who hesitates loses. Fortune favors the decisive. Even the tiniest decisions matter. What email you send first, what conversation you start, what project you tackle first, these micro decisions compound. They shape your productivity, your effectiveness, and ultimately your results. And perfectionism? It kills that power slowly, silently, in a way you barely notice until hours, even days have slipped away. Think about it. How many mornings do we start with intention, only to spend the first hour or two preparing, planning, polishing, thinking through every angle, and then realize the day is almost gone? How many opportunities to move, to act, to get something done vanish because we waited for some impossible standard of perfection? Perfectionism gives the illusion of control. It makes you feel like you're being careful, responsible, smart. But in reality, it steals the one thing you can't get back: time in motion, time acting, time producing results. The lesson here is subtle, but powerful. Decisions, no matter how small, are the building blocks of progress. Waiting for perfection before you act ensures stagnation. Moving, even imperfectly, builds momentum. It builds confidence. It allows fortune, opportunities, and growth to enter your life. So, the next time perfectionism whispers, remember Machiavelli's words: Boldness and decisiveness matter far more than flawless execution. Fortune favors those who move, not those who wait for the stars to align. Now picture this: a business, an entrepreneur, a creator, someone full of ideas, energy, and ambition. They have a vision, a plan, and the potential to make a real impact. But there's a problem, perfectionism, and it paralyzes them. They sit at their desk, staring at their screen, thinking, what if my launch fails? What if this campaign doesn't work? What if I haven't done enough research? Maybe I should wait until I can perfect every detail. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. The launch that could have changed everything never happens. The product stays on the shelf of ideas, gathering dust. And meanwhile, competitors, imperfect, messy, decisive, move forward, take risks, and claim the opportunities that could have been theirs. Machiavelli had a word for this: virtù, the ability to act boldly, decisively, to shape reality even in the face of uncertainty. Bold action, even if imperfect, is what separates those who succeed from those who stagnate. The truth is harsh but simple. A slightly imperfect product that reaches the market is worth 100 perfect ideas that never leave your desk. It's not the idea that counts, it's the action, it's the execution. Business doesn't reward perfection, it rewards action, experimentation, boldness, and the courage to learn along the way. Every day spent obsessing over tiny details is a day lost. Lost to competitors, lost to the market, lost to momentum. Think of the thousands of entrepreneurs who waited for the perfect launch, the perfect logo, the perfect strategy, only to see someone else succeed with something messy, unpolished, but alive in the market. Every imperfection is an opportunity to adapt, iterate, and grow, if only you take the leap. Machiavelli understood this. Waiting for ideal conditions is a silent killer. Fortune favors those who act, who take bold steps, who move even when the timing isn't perfect. Waiting, refining endlessly, or overanalyzing, it kills potential quietly, invisibly, and permanently. So here's the lesson. In business, perfectionism is not just an obstacle, it's a trap. It masks fear as responsibility, hesitation as prudence, overthinking as strategy. But the only thing that truly creates results, influence, and impact is action. Bold, imperfect, and relentless action. Here's another truth we rarely admit. Perfectionism kills creativity. Every time you hesitate, second guess, or refuse to start because it's not perfect, you smother the spark of originality before it even has a chance to ignite. Fear creeps in. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, fear of imperfection, and suddenly every idea seems fragile, every step risky. You find yourself stuck in a loop, thinking, refining, rethinking, but never creating. Machiavelli understood human nature better than most. He observed that hesitation breeds weakness. Those who are cautious, overly careful, or obsessed with flawless execution become predictable. They move slowly. They repeat the same patterns and the world passes them by. Boldness, on the other hand, is unpredictable. It's messy, yes. Chaotic, yes. But it's alive. True creativity isn't born in safety. It's born in action, in the willingness to try, to fail, and to try again. Think of the artists who paint over mistakes to find new patterns, the inventors who tinker endlessly, the entrepreneurs who launch imperfect products and improve along the way. Each mistake becomes a stepping stone to something greater. When we wait for perfection, we're not waiting for clarity or readiness. We're waiting for certainty, a certainty that doesn't exist, and that waiting stops the journey before it starts. Every delayed project, every idea buried for fear of imperfection is a lost opportunity for innovation. Creativity thrives in motion. Bold, imperfect action allows ideas to evolve, morph, and take shape in ways you never anticipated. Messy experiments often lead to breakthroughs. Mistakes are not failures. They are lessons, maps guiding you toward originality. Imagine a musician afraid to record a new song until every note is flawless. Or a writer endlessly editing the first chapter without ever finishing the story. The world doesn't reward the perfect draft. It rewards the finished, the shared, the tried and tested, even if flawed. So remember, perfectionism isn't protection. It's a cage. It traps your ideas, suffocates your creativity, and prevents you from discovering what's truly possible. Machiavelli would say, "Fortune favors those who act boldly, even in uncertainty." And creativity, like fortune, rewards movement, risk, and the courage to embrace imperfection. Perfectionism steals the most precious resources we have, time and energy. Every day we think we're being careful, responsible, strategic. We plan, we tweak, we polish. But here's the harsh truth. While we refine endlessly, the clock doesn't stop. Time moves forward, energy fades, opportunities slip quietly out of reach. Think about it. Hours are spent tweaking details nobody will notice. A paragraph rewritten 10 times, a slide perfected for the umpteenth review, a design altered for the 100th time. Meanwhile, the world moves. The moment passes. What could have been a small action, an early decision, a first step, is gone. Days are lost planning endlessly. You research, you analyze, you strategize, thinking the perfect plan will bring perfect results. But perfection is an illusion. Plans alone do not create impact. Plans alone do not move the world forward. Action does. Action, even imperfect, is what generates momentum. Weeks pass while you wait for ideal conditions, the perfect timing, the perfect resources, the perfect circumstances. And what do you get? Nothing. Not a step closer to your goals, not a moment richer in experience, not a lesson learned. Machiavelli understood this. He knew that results matter more than intentions. You can have the noblest plan, the best strategy, the most meticulous preparation, but if you do not act, if you do not move, it's meaningless. Productivity doesn't come from perfect plans. It comes from acting, adjusting, learning, and moving forward. Every action, no matter how imperfect, creates information. It creates momentum. It creates opportunities to pivot, to improve, to grow. And yet, perfectionism convinces us that we must wait, that we must get it right the first time. It drains our energy, making every step heavier, every decision harder. It paralyzes us in the illusion of control, while real control, true influence, comes from decisive action. So here's the lesson. Time and energy are finite. Every moment you spend polishing, planning, and perfecting is a moment you can never get back. Machiavelli would remind us, fortune favors the decisive. Results are created by those who act, not those who wait. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Stop thinking the first step must be flawless. Start moving, start doing, start creating. Every small, imperfect action is a step toward mastery, influence, and real progress. Boldness, action, courage, that is power. And yet, perfectionism whispers in our ears, "Not yet. You're not ready. Do more research. Wait for the perfect moment." And so, we hesitate, we plan, we refine, we wait. We convince ourselves that caution is wisdom, that delay is prudence. But the world does not pause for your preparation. Opportunity does not knock twice. Every second spent waiting is a chance lost, a window closed, a victory slipping quietly to someone willing to act, even imperfectly. Machiavelli understood this better than most. He wrote about fortune and virtue, the relationship between opportunity and bold action. Fortune, he observed, favors those who act decisively, not those who wait for conditions to be perfect. Boldness seizes the moment, shapes circumstances, and bends reality to the will of the doer. Hesitation, no matter how careful, leaves power in the hands of others. Think about the countless opportunities you've watched pass by. Perhaps it was a new project at work, a business idea, a creative experiment, or even a simple decision that could have changed your day. You waited for the perfect moment, the perfect preparation, the perfect timing, And in that wait, someone else moved. Someone bold. Someone willing to embrace imperfection. And they won. Bold action does not require certainty. It does not demand flawless preparation. It requires courage, the willingness to step into the unknown, to make decisions even when the outcome is uncertain. Boldness creates momentum. Boldness forces growth. Boldness opens doors that perfectionism keeps firmly closed. Here's the truth. Waiting for perfection is the silent assassin of opportunity. Fortune, success, and influence do not wait. They favor the bold, the decisive, the willing to act in spite of doubt and fear. Every day you hesitate, someone else acts. Imperfectly, yes, but decisively. They are moving forward, gaining ground, seizing what could have been yours. So, remember Machiavelli's lesson. Perfection is an illusion. Boldness is reality. Act. Step forward. Take risks. Make mistakes. Learn quickly. Adapt. Every bold, imperfect step you take is a victory over stagnation, a reclaiming of control, and a pathway to influence, creativity, and success.